and I'm a minimalist. I guess I just was like a lot of people in this country, just basically chasing the American dream. At the time, I was working for a design build firm based out of Columbia, South Carolina. And though he wasn't paying us ridiculous amounts of money, he was paying us enough so that we could basically do whatever it is we wanted to do or we needed to do. Also around that time, I had just started using the law of attraction and actually got pretty proficient at it. And I had a vision board. So I had a vision board and a list of all the items that I wanted, and I was just attracting all these materialistic items and objects to me. And one thing from that was when these things started to come in, I was very excited about getting the items, but as soon as they would arrive, immediately I would start, concentrating on getting the next thing. And I realized that I wasn't really getting any happiness from doing that. I'm just, going about my day, really heavy into materialism, and I'm in the process of purchasing a home. So I met with a realtor, so we're going over the debt to income ratio, and we're trying to get everything straight. And not only that, I wanted to purchase another vehicle. I think BMW at the time, it came out with I think it was an X5 or X6. I can't remember exactly which one. I really felt I needed that car. I really felt I needed this house. So definitely in the process of making that happen. And along the way, I ran into a documentary by the name of The Minimalist. And when I watched the documentary, I think it kind of planted that seed. Regardless of that, I just kind of went along my way, still heavy into materialism, trying to purchase things on my list, and, getting things off my vision board. And I realized that the more and more that I purchased and I scratched things off the list, the more and more I started to add it to this. It got to the point where it just seemed like it would never stop, always wanting something. So the more and more I started to make all these purchases, and I realized that I wasn't getting happy from it. And not only that, the fact that, just going to work every day, the repetitious same thing constantly over and over. It seemed like I was doing the same thing, supposed to being free, but just not really feeling free. Everything for a minute just didn't feel to sit right with me. I just felt a lot of changes happening, so I quit my job. And not only that, when I quit my job, I actually, around that same time, I became a minimalist. So when I made the decision to become a minimalist, one of the first things I had to do was the purge. So here I am, surrounded by all these different materialistic items, these tangible items that I just, felt that I needed. Now I felt that all these things are worthless. They really have no value to me. For the first time, I'm actually thinking about why it is I purchased this thing. Does it fill a significant role in my life or not? And when I realized that a lot of these things didn't, I knew at that time it was time to purge and get rid of them. Not only that, there was a time when I was walking around my home and I happened to count how many computers were in the house, and I counted 8 computers. I just figured, I don't see why, we would need 8 computers in one home. And I understand that the accessibility, everybody having their own computer, I totally get that. But I think after a certain point, I think a lot of the things we do are unnecessary. So as I was purging, one of the things that I experienced with purging is some of the items that I got rid of. I kind of felt, I don't know, I felt a little attached to it as they were going, and it was so weird because I'm feeling some type of emotions to the object that can't feel any emotions back to me. But for some reason, I had those experiences. Not only that, once I started to purge, and I was selling things and only getting a fraction of what I actually paid for it, it was kind of upsetting because I thought to myself, I put a lot of energy, I put a lot of time and effort as far as working, in order to get the money to pay for these things, and here it is, they're going for not even close to what I paid for. So even doing that was a struggle within itself, and it kind of bothered me. But over time, once I started to purge and I got rid of things, I started to feel a lot. So now we're at the point where I just basically gave a lot of things away. I sold a lot of things, and I basically had nothing. And this was basically the first time in my life that I really had to sit down and try to figure out exactly what it is I want out of this experience we call life, and what tangible items I would want to take from it. So in writing the list, I had a certain criteria that I had to meet with every purchase that I make from here on out. And one of the criteria was that it had to be portable. So it had to be something that I could carry, or it had to have wheels on it, or something of that nature. So no baby grand pianos, no big screen TVs, things like that. Secondly, I had to either enrich my life in some way or give it some type of excitement, getting me out of my comfort zone and something I can do repetitiously, not just one time. Really give my life some type of fun. That whatever it is, I want it to be the best that humans offer. So if it's a pair of pants, I want it to be the best type of pants, or shirt, whatever it is that I purchase. I didn't want to have to go back and constantly make purchases over and over once I bought something. And I do understand that, things get better as time goes. So, there would come a time where I would need to upgrade. So most likely I'll sell something that I previously had, put some money with it in order to upgrade it. Also, in creating the list, I want to make sure that things bring me some type of excitement, but becoming a minimalist didn't mean that I didn't want anything. It just meant that the things that I want were extremely sharp, and I was more practical in my outlook. So rather than getting a sports car, I wanted to get a really nice electric bike that I can take on trails, that can take me like hundreds of miles, or that maybe a car can't take me, and try to get a different experience. And not only that, me becoming a minimalist is not that I don't want a home. It's just that big house that I can only occupy a small bit of space of it. I feel like I don't need that. So rather than getting a big, nice two-story home, I would rather get a really nice RV, something of that nature. So that's what I realized. Those are some of the changes that happened to me with becoming a minimalist. But it's not that I just didn't want nothing. Something else that was extremely important for me to have on the list is things dealing with survivalism. The way that the world was going at the time, it just didn't seem. I just wasn't too sure about the current path that it was heading. And I wanted to be in a situation that if I had to, I could basically save myself and be self-sustaining. Didn't need anyone to come help me in the event that something goes wrong. So I wanted to make sure that I can do that, and that was important, and I had to put that on the list. But I still had the same criteria. I still had to be able to carry it, and it still had to be portable. Now, as far as me becoming a minimalist and doing all this purging, one thing psychologically that I had to deal with is I kind of started to feel like I was getting poor, or being poor. And that in itself blew my mind, because at the end of the day, when I really think about it, I don't know what it is to be poor. Now, yes, I've had difficult times. I think we've all had difficult times, and we know about that. But I think by living in this particular country right here, there's no way you actually know what true poverty is. I know we definitely know about some rough times, people having some rough patches, but as far as feeling something, as far as poverty, no. And so I kind of wanted to research to see what exactly true poverty is. The majority of the people on this planet, they don't even really live in a home. They live in like these small huts. None of these places have running water. None of them have electricity. When they have to relieve themselves, they have to go to serious streams to do so. And not only that, a large majority of the world don't even own a pair of shoes. And if they do, then a lot of the times it's flip-flops. Or a lot of times they have to share that one pair of flip-flops. But a large majority of the world, they only survive off $1.10 a day, $10 a week. So the majority of the world are basically vegetarians, not because they want to be, but because they can't afford to buy meat. Living in the Western societies, something that I learned is that if you make a little over $32,000 a year, you're in the 1% of the world. So that income disparity is so major, coming from a third world country in reference to countries that are westernized in America. And yes, definitely we've had hard times, but I don't really think you can compare our experience in this country or other Western countries to true poverty that the majority of the world experiences. So in a society which we do, we definitely have a lot of benefits that other countries don't, and as a result, it makes life a lot more easier for us. So as much as I try to so-called align myself with how the majority of human beings live on this planet, without a doubt, I know that it won't even be close. Because at the end of the day, I realize for me, this is a choice, but for a lot of them, it is definitely by default. From birth, it's going to be difficult not to obtain a lot of things. So as a result, doing that, I kind of just was able to break down my life into a series of these small bags. So basically, I have two bags where it has all of my personal items, my clothes, and not only that, things that I use for entertainment. You would be amazed about how many things can actually fit in a small book bag or whatnot today. I also have like a little keyboard, and I wanted to learn how to play the guitar, so I got a little guitar. And as far as my personal items, that's what I use every day. That's what I survive out of that bag. I also have a skateboard and a dirt bike and a BMX bike. And I got those things to kind of, get me out of my comfort zone, to get me, outside a little bit more. And even with the survivalism thing, when I first started, I really didn't know and truly understand, and started ending up making a lot of purchases that I didn't need. And even with that, I'm able to even get my survival gear smaller and smaller, and I'm understanding that I don't need so much of it to survive. Some may say that this is extreme, but what I realized is rather than me putting all these things on the list and inspiring and buying all these things that I really don't need, take my money and have experiences and adventures rather than owning a tangible thing. We look at things in this particular country like, I think the fact that we can have women here when they go to the club, every time they go to the club they wear a different outfit. Not only that, they never go to another club wearing that outfit of fear of being seen. I think it goes to show you, our perception on how we see ourselves and how we see things in this particular country. Can minimalism change the world? I don't even know if I think it's even really the world, that needs to be changed with minimalism. I think it's more so us living in the Western societies. I'm not telling you guys not to have dreams and aspirations and collect things that you want. Many people collect houses and they collect cars and they collect remote control cars and I don't know whatever it is that you collect. I'm not saying don't do that, but rather than getting 10 items, why don't you just get 9, and try to do charity with that last and try to change somebody's life. And I'm not saying, when I say charity, I'm not saying, give to these different organizations, because you guys already know a lot of that time the money doesn't get to where it really needs to go to, but maybe going out there and touching somebody directly. I think that us being in these Western societies, if we kind of look at things like that, and maybe as far as when you're making your list of all the aspirations and the things that you want, maybe put on there, help somebody else, try to change somebody's life, put that on there, rather than taking out your bread and buying all these things that you really don't need. As far as that, I think minimalism could definitely change the world. Those who have the ability to not only pay your bills, but you have excess, try to limit it down so much. Rather than 20 cars, maybe get 15. I don't know, but definitely try to help if you can. At the end of the day, and that's how I feel minimalism can possibly save the world. So if I had to put it in a nutshell to see why I became a minimalist, I guess I just got tired of participating in all the dumb shit. Peace.